talked about a little bit before, but now that you've made it to the playoffs, a fifth seed, given the goals setting you did in the year, how would you express how you feel about it?
Yeah, before I answer that, I want to wish happy Easter to all Orthodox Christians celebrating today. Hristos Vaskrse i srećan praznik. Yes, so we just found out that with Boston beating Orlando that we're going to be the fifth seed. Obviously, that was not. We never set a goal of get this seed or that seed. We were just focusing on our work, focusing on things that are in our control, and the hands played out well for us this year. We won 46 games, 16 games more than last season. We saw a lot of growth from this roster, and the best part of it is that we're going to have opportunity to play in the playoffs. And as much as all of those games meant to put us in the playoffs, it's going to be an amazing experience for our team to go in the playoffs. And we're just going to take one game at a time as well. So our mentality is not going to change. We're going to try to win one game and then to win this next game and see where we end up.
I know. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know the playoffs will be a new step, but just considering the regular season, what are you most proud of regarding your group?
I'm very thankful of the men that we have in that room, of the character of that group, togetherness. I'm very thankful that I had a chance this season to coach the group that came together and really wanted to compete for each other and to help each other on the court. 1 through 18, all of the players, including two-ways, they had a buy-in into the culture, into the team, into togetherness, and that's what carried us over the course of the whole year.
Do you have any update on Emmanuel?
He's right now doing MRI, so we still don't know. We're still waiting for results.
Scotty obviously had triple-double, his third of the season, 9th of his career. What does he bring to this team, especially heading back to the playoffs?
And it's hard to put it in words. He had triple-double in the third quarter there. From assists, playmaking, rebounding, blocking shots, defending. You name it. Like, I think he's slowly but surely growing into all-around player, offensively and defensively.
You always say that this is still a rebuild, but surely reaching the playoffs is a good sign. In terms of that bigger picture, next season, the season after that, how are you feeling about the rebuild now?
I think we're just in the middle of the process. We're not finished product. There is more work for us to do. We have a lot of young players that still need to see a lot of growth, a lot of development. But there's going to be time and place to talk about next season. I think this is a moment for everybody to enjoy it and really to have a chance to enjoy this moment, to seize this moment.
Coach. You're the first ever European coach that makes the playoffs after.
It's not a lot of us. It's not. It's not a huge accomplishment.
No, but I mean, as an actual head coach, and from the beginning of the season, of course, you don't, like you said, you don't want to stop here. But my question is how your Serbian roots have defined the person and the coach that you are today.
I mean. I was born and raised in Serbia, lived my 29 years, 30 years there before I moved to Spain, and that's where I started playing and coaching, fall in love with the game. There are so many players, so many coaches from ex-Yugoslavia, especially from Serbia, that make this path possible for me. Without all of those successes of national team, without successes of the clubs, of individual successes of players and coaches, I would never be in this position or here. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to represent my country and my fellow, countrymen.
A follow-up in Spanish. Mencionaste tu paso por España.
Sí.
¿Cómo tu paso por España en el espacio de Torrelodones, pues también te ayudó pues no solo a ser entrenador jefe de la NBA, sino también clasificar a un equipo para los...
De verdad que me ayudó muchísimo pasando estos 3 años en Torrelodones, viviendo en Madrid, conociendo muy buena gente en España, conociendo una manera diferente de entrenar y de manejar el equipo. Me ayudó muchísimo y me preparó bastante bien para hacer este paso hacia NBA.
You guys were going to be at a experience disadvantage no matter who you played, and that'll be the case against Cleveland. But the only way to get that experience is to go do it, get those reps. How much are you looking forward to? I mean, for some of these guys that haven't been there for a while, some of them that haven't been there at all, how much are you looking forward to seeing them learn on the fly and get that experience?
And when we started the season, we were hoping for, first of all, playing meaningful games towards the end of the season. If that's a play-in, that would be great for us as well. That would be a great experience. Playing those games, going back and playing those games against Miami over here, like when you know that so much is on the line, that we have a chance, that we need to win those games, was super important for us. And I think all of those games, they're allowing players, coaches, all of us to grow. And playoff is going to be another step for us, for many young players to learn, the intensity and attention to detail and how much every possession matters in the playoffs. I think it's going to help us tremendously in growing this roster.
Is there anyone, I'm sure this week this might be a better question for a few days from now, but even in the lead up or the playoff push that you guys have been making over the last few weeks, has there been a more vocal player in the room, maybe somebody that's been through the experience before that has been helping the younger players along?
I mean, there was a lot of conversations, and there's always like multiple players helping each other. Some of the guys were fighting for the playoffs. Some of the guys played in the playoffs before. Some of the guys for the first time, and it's always great to see that they're trying to push for each other and help each other. And I think it's very good for this roster that they're growing through those experiences together.
Darko, when you look at this closing stretch, you guys won 7 of the last 8 games that you played at home. In terms of protecting home court going into the postseason, do you think this team has matured or learned anything about this closing stretch?
For sure. I think we learned a lot, and we're always taking every game as an opportunity to learn something and to improve something, and that's the mentality of those guys in the locker room. And a lot of times I've been really hard on them, and they're allowing me to coach them and to try to help them in the best possible way. So I think all of us growing together and going through those games and through those stretches, I think it brought us even closer as a group.
I know it's really early, and again, we have like a week to talk about this, but playing the Cavaliers in the playoffs, what are your first impressions on what they might pose for you guys?
Amazing team, amazing coach. They're for a reason. Being, everybody thinks that they're one of the contenders, and I agree with that. They're loaded. They made good, decisions at the trade deadline. Adding James Harden to that team, I think they have a lot of weapons, and I think it's going to be an amazing opportunity for us. I think we're going to really improve through that series, and we're going to try to do our best to win every single game.